Good morning, students. Today I welcome you all on behalf of Rasa International School to study class 10th, chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equation. Under this, we will study types of chemical reaction, and in this, we will study today is oxidation and reduction. It is on your book page number 12. What is oxidation and reduction? Basically, addition of oxygen is oxidation, removal of hydrogen is oxidation, removal of electron is oxidation, addition of electron is reduction. Now again I am repeating, addition of oxygen is oxidation, removal of oxygen is reduction, removal of hydrogen is oxidation, addition of hydrogen is reduction, removal of electrons or transfer of electrons is oxidation, gain of electrons is reduction. So, on the basis of this, we will classify oxidation and reduction part in a chemical reaction. Any reaction, or you can say any chemical reaction, is a redox reaction, or both oxidation and reduction take place in that. Why I'm saying the word redox? Redox means itself reduction and oxidation. Okay, so let's start with oxidation and reduction. Here, what we have, a china dish containing copper powder, a wire gauge, a tripod stand, and a Bunsen burner. Now, what happening over here? We are heating the copper powder. The surface of the copper powder become coated with black copper oxide. When we heat copper powder in the presence of oxygen, copper oxide is formed, due to which the black coating is being observed over here. This is because the oxygen is added to the copper and the copper oxide is formed. Now, I told you that addition of oxygen is oxidation. So, copper is oxidized to copper oxide. Okay, so this is the oxidation part. On this same hand, okay, oxygen is reduced to copper oxide. Whenever we see the oxidation and reduction substance or the oxidized or reduced substance, we have to check the reactants only. The product will not be included in that. You have to remember this, okay? So if I say what is actually over here get oxidized, you will say copper get oxidized. I will say what is get reduced over here, you will say oxygen get reduced over here. So oxidized is copper and reduced is oxygen. On the other hand, the oxidized substance is reducing agent. The oxidized substance is reducing agent. So copper is oxidized substance, so that is why it is reducing agent, and oxygen is reduced substance, so it is oxidizing agent. Let us see it is okay what is actually going over here. If the substance gain oxygen during the reaction, it is said to be oxidized. If the substance lose oxygen during the chemical reaction, it is said to be reduced. This is very important. So here copper oxide plus hydrogen, when heated, it is forming copper and water. Now you can say that copper oxide is, there is a removal of oxygen, so copper oxide get reduced to copper. So I will say reduced substance is copper oxide. On the other hand, the hydrogen is getting oxygen and forming water. So I will say which is the oxidized substance, you will say hydrogen. Okay. So who is the reducing agent? The substance which get oxidized is the reducing agent. So hydrogen is the reducing agent. And who is the reduced substance? Who is the reduced substance? Copper oxide is the reduced substance but oxidizing agent. Clear? So during the reaction, the copper oxide is losing oxygen and being reduced. The hydrogen is gaining oxygen, so being oxidized that we have discussed. So hydrogen is oxidized and copper oxide is reduced. In the other words, one reactant get oxidized while the other get reduced. I have I have told you that we have to check the oxidized substance and reduced substance on the reactant side only. So one reactant get oxidized, the other reactant get reduced during the reaction. Such reaction is known as oxidation reduction reaction or simply a redox reaction. The redox word is basically from the reduction and ox word is from the oxidation. So redox is reduction plus oxidation. Okay. Any chemical reaction is a redox reaction. Clear? So let us check in this. Zinc plus zinc oxide plus carbon leads to the formation of zinc and carbon monoxide. Now here zinc oxide, the removal of oxygen. So zinc oxide is get reduced, whereas carbon is getting oxygen, so it get oxidized. Okay, so reduced substance is zinc oxide and oxidized substance is carbon. Clear? So it is written over here, the carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide and zinc oxide is reduced to zinc. Okay, in the similar way, the HCl is oxidized to chlorine and manganese oxide is reduced to manganese chloride. Let us check over here. Now what they have said that HCl is oxidized to chlorine. HCl is oxidized to chlorine and manganese oxide is reduced to manganese chloride. So HCl is oxidized to chlorine because of the removal of hydrogen. I told you removal of hydrogen is oxidation, whereas the manganese oxide is reduced to manganese chloride, that is removal of oxygen is reduction. Okay, so now we have been clear about oxidation and reduction. What is oxidation? Addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen, loss of electrons. Okay, what is reduction? Removal of oxygen, addition of hydrogen, gain of electrons. So this is the reduction and this is your oxidation. Thank you.